Can you tell which one of these brains belongs to a serial killer? John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown, was captured and executed in 1994. During his autopsy, his brain was removed from his body and taken for research.
I have cut up portions of John Gacy's brain to preserve it.
Psychologist Dr. Helen Morrison still has his brain in a jar.
It's smaller than it was when we did the autopsy.
Experts have long theorized that serial killers are built different than the rest of us. Their brains are decayed and dysfunctional, driving them to act in ways that seem senseless and violent.
I could put on clown makeup and I was relaxed, and I enjoyed doing it.
Their perspective about how they see the world. And that's the fascinating part about it, that they see it in a different way than we do.
Years before Gacy, Dr. Morrison interviewed Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainfield. He had murdered 2 women and robbed dozens of graves, dismembering bodies and taking parts of them home to play with.
Would you enjoy it while you were doing it? What's the worst part of it? I really didn't care.
A very, very disturbed, demented person when I met him. He did not really know the day, the date, anything.
Gein was found legally insane and was held in a mental institution for the remainder of his life. Dr. Morrison believed it was his damaged brain that caused him to commit the crimes.
How he ended up is just incredible. He became a little old man that people didn't pay attention to.
Another case that supported this broken brain hypothesis was that of Chris Benoit. Back in the 2000s, Benoit was one of the most popular pro wrestlers in the world, until one day, without warning, he murdered his wife and son, then committed suicide. Tests conducted on his brain post-mortem revealed it was severely damaged, resembling that of an 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient. It was believed that the damage was the result of numerous concussions Benoit suffered throughout his 22 years of wrestling, but the theory crumbled when it came to the Killer Clown. Before getting caught, Gacy raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 victims. Dr. Morrison expected that someone who had committed such terrible crimes would have a deteriorated brain. His death sentence finally provided the opportunity to examine the brain of a killer from up close.
We wanted to check to see if there was anything that was gross or visible in the brain to try to figure out what it was that made him kill.
But when she dissected his brain and studied it, she discovered something much scarier. It was in perfect condition. John Wayne Gacy was completely sane and in control of his actions.
With John Gacy, there's nothing, but that still doesn't answer how this person becomes a serial killer.
As Gacy's own defense team said, if he truly was normal, then our concept of normality might be completely distorted.
Clowning was relaxation for me. I enjoyed entertaining kids.